Yo, guys, I just got off a panel interview. Like, I just had to come and share, like, spill the juice. Guys, like, the first panel interview I went for, there were just four people, and I was like, okay, fine. I know something about panel interview in relation to sterile processing. But guys, like this interview I got off, there was seven people on this interview. Like they bombarded me with questions. Like you just had to think. I think not you, because I was the one in that interview. I had to think quick, and quick. Like I always used to think that like jobs that have like panel interviews are really necessary. Like there are these IT jobs also. But guys, no, that wasn't the case for me. Mine, in fact, let me not say, yeah, that wasn't the case. Like in this hospital, that wasn't the case, guys. Okay, so this I'm just gonna give you like so this video apparently is like just sharing with you guys like my panel interview experience and the question they asked me in relation to sterile processing. And so guys, on this interview they asked like what I was asked with. They asked me like questions in two parts, like clinical questions and behavioral questions. So I'm not gonna follow like any chronological manner or anything. I'll talk as the spirit leads, you see. So the first question they asked me on this interview was like I had to introduce myself. And when it comes to introducing yourself, I spoke about like my job background, like from when I spoke about like when I started like voluntary services, when I got certified, the number of hospitals I've worked in. Like they asked me reasons why I left, because like in some hospitals I worked just for 6 months. They asked me like reasons why I worked in those hospitals, in that hospital for 6 months, and why I left. Like the questions that these guys bombarded me with. Anyways, so I answered all that. The next question was like, oh, tell us why, give us a reason. What is the reason you decided to apply for this position in our hospital? So I had to go on there. In fact, I sold myself, and I sold myself like I mean, so for me, like this, the way I answer that question, I believe like if these people don't call me back, it's because they probably have somebody that has so many years of experience, because I believe like I did really sell myself. The next question these guys also asked me, they asked me about my strengths and my they asked about my strengths and my weaknesses. They asked me how do I handle stress. In most jobs, they always ask about like that question. They always ask like, so how do you handle stress? Tell us how you handle stress. And then another question that they also asked was like, so tell us, if in case you get selected, right, what are you bringing to the table? It's not only relationships that they ask the question like what I bring into the table. Even in jobs, they ask the question of what I bring into the table. So I had to talk and talk and talk. Like this was the most professional interview I've ever attended. Like guys. Anyways, yeah, that's like, so if they hire me, like what values am I going to bring onto their team and all that. So I had to answer all of that. Another question they also asked me like, okay, so like a scenario like this is okay, they asked me like if the call from the OR that they need an equipment, that they need an instrument start, right? And I don't know where, if the call from the OR that they need an equipment start, and I don't know I don't know the room in which they need that equipment in, because they just say start, but do not say bring it to room 3, 2, or 5. No, they do not say all that. So where am I going to bring the instruments? Like what room am I going to take the instruments to? I was like, dun dun. I said, I don't know. The lady was like, no, take your time, think, what are you going to do? So I was like, if it's me, I'll take that equipment. I'll take like the tray, and I'll walk from it to like one OR to another till I get to where that tray is actually needed. Because like if they need a tray start, so because most of the times when they're in a surgery they cannot pick up calls, so that was what I told them. So they were like, oh, they wouldn't have expected me to do anything other than that. I was like, okay, at least your girl's brain is still functioning a little bit. Another question they also asked me was to walk them through like okay, let's just say, for example, a tray comes from the OR. How are you going to handle it? Comes from a used tray, comes from the OR to decon, right? How are you going to clean that tray in decon? I had to answer that. They asked me about the flexible scope. So she asked me to walk her through the process of cleaning a flexible scope. I had to walk her through all that. Like, guys, this interview was intense. I've never had this kind of interview before. Okay, and after that, the next question was, so if an instrument drops in the OR, and they ask, if an instrument drops in the OR and they need that instrument, like that instrument is one of a kind that they cannot get it, that is not on the shelf, it's there's no backup, what are you going to do? And that they need that instrument start. Guys, before I answer, please, 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 if you have not liked, please rush right now and like, and please don't forget to subscribe. So yes, they asked me like, so if an instrument falls in the OR, what am I going to do? So what I told them was like, there's an immediate it's an immediate cycle. Is it the IUSS? Is a pod that is in the OR. That's where like they do it, like the immediate flash. That's the name of the cycle. That's what you do if they need an instrument start. Like if the instrument has not been sterile, and if you have to provide it for surgery, if it's needed for surgery immediately, that's what you do. So that one, I do not know the name of that cycle, but at least I knew that it was a rapid cycle. So at least she told me that name. And then another question they also asked me was, okay, take for instance you have a co-worker that you cannot come. Okay, I do not know the answer to this question, so I'm just gonna say it out there. And if you know the answer, please just drop it down in the comment section. So they asked me a question. So if you have a co-worker and okay, like you communicate, but the co-worker does not understand you, what are you going to do? Like, how do you communicate to that co-worker? I told them I was going to like write notes and give it to them, but to me, like, I felt like that answer was not really, it's not really calf strength, like, I don't know. So we learn every day. So if you know the answer to that, please leave it down in the comment section. Like, if you have somebody that you're facing difficulties in communicating to, like, if you're communicating and then the person does not understand you, what do you do? Please, 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 please leave that down in the comment section. And then another question they also asked was like, if they bring me on their team, right, is there any support I'll need from them? So yeah, I told them yes, of course. Not yes, of course. I told them that, okay, fine, I'm looking for opportunities. I'm looking for opportunities to advance in my career. So if your hospital is open to that, then yes, I am going to be very, very much happy. So they asked me like, what positions are you looking to advance into? I told them manager. They're like, oh, okay, so I have to make sure I get my endoscopy certification and instrument certification. Another question they also asked was in relation to scopes. They actually asked me to walk her through washing endoscopes. Guys, I did that about 6 months ago. Like, I had completely forgotten. I just knew like few steps, so it was anyways, I'm just gonna keep keeping my fingers crossed. Anyways, guys, that was like my interview process. I just thought I should come and drop it with you. Like, know that like there are hospitals out there in sterile processing that they do panel interviews. You have to be ready. Make sure you know like the background of that hospital. You don't just walk into an interview without knowing like the background of that hospital, because they'll actually like, how did you hear about us? All those questions will come in. So make sure, my advice to you is know the background. Yeah, know the background, like the history of the hospital and what they are famous for, or what their value system is better. Anyways, guys, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed this video, and remember to like and subscribe. Thank you so much, and see you all on my next one. Bye.